having me. I'm so glad we were able to work it out. I know my schedule's been like all over the place and like rescheduling all the time, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It's been an honor. So what first got you into music?
Um, I've been singing since I was young. So I mean, I've always loved music, but I was really, really, really shy, and it took me a while to kind of break out of my shell and want to actually pursue it. But I mean, I've been singing forever, and I played violin in the orchestra in high school, and I started playing guitar and piano, and then next thing you knew, I was just kind of feeling brave enough to sing in front of people. And then that's sort of where I've been now for the past like 4 or 5 years, and like 3 or 4 years, just kind of playing around town and starting to write my own music. So I'm starting to kind of want to, be an independent artist now, and I'm working on my own music. So that's kind of where it
Amazing.
started.
And what inspired you to make music?
Um, I mean, there's a lot of things that, kind of run through my mind on the daily that I'm like, I really should figure out how to make this into a song. you know, it's kind of like you don't want to miss the opportunities to like have a good thing to write about. So sometimes I'll have my notes on my phone or something, or a voice memo, and I'll even just speak something that I'm like, I want to write about this. Just a lot of it for me tends to be like about mental health or um, just different feelings, like of whether it's like loneliness or sadness in some way. I think those are things that a lot of people can relate to. um and I mean, there's so many different ways you can talk about like the human experience in music.
Right.
So I'm still trying to figure out exactly like what the next song I'm going to be working on is going to be about, but it'll probably be in that realm.
Right. And I'm a big mental health activist.
Yeah.
I've lost three friends to suicide, but it's
Oh,
very important to talk about mental health and have
mhm.
music about mental health. It's very important to do
Yeah.
that. And also, it's very important for us as human beings to reach out to friends, to call friends, to text
Yeah.
friends. It's me personally, it's very important to call friends to see how they're doing. You
That's
want to
very
check,
nice. Yeah.
you want to check up on them.
I
So,
agree. Yeah,
and
I
it
definitely.
doesn't matter how busy you are in life. You want to spend 30 minutes with them, right? You
Mhm.
can, or you, it doesn't matter how busy we are in life, single, married, whatever our life is, you know, it, you should have time to call people, right? You
Yeah,
should say, hey,
I
I'm just
agree.
seeing how you're doing.
Especially if it's someone that you consider a friend. I think I definitely agree. It's like if you consider someone a friend and they consider you a friend, you do need to make the time for those people. And I'm lucky to have quite a few people that I can feel like I can talk to, and
Hmm.
or they, you know, we do voice notes like back and forth, like things like that. And we're able to kind of vent about like weekly venting sessions. So yeah, it is important.
Very true. I totally agree with you. So I think I already asked you this, but what's your favorite song that you sang so far?
Oh, like my favorite song in general,
Yes.
like from anybody, that's a really hard question. The song that I sing the most, that I think I get like the most like good feedback from, is Someone Like You by Adele. I don't know
Hmm.
why. I think because when I was starting to sing, my voice was naturally like really high and soprano-y, so it sounded really pretty on that like never mind I'll find, like it was high and it fit me like perfectly, and it still is a nice song for me to sing. So I feel like that's probably like this my like wheelhouse.
Yeah, I
So
love Adele. She's amazing.
yeah, she's amazing. And I also love for like my lower register, Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson.
I like Kelly
So
Clarkson as well.
yeah.
How would you describe the music that you typically make?
Um I'm just starting out with like making my own music, but that's actually something that I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to work with an artist branding group called the Septian Entertainment Group. It's located in Texas. They helped Casey Musgraves, Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, I think Sabrina Carpenter possibly, but they basically help you kind of figure out exactly that. Like, what do you want to sound like? What do you want to say? So that's something that I need. Like, I'm actually getting to the point now where I need professional like help to kind of
Mm-hmm.
get myself to like the next level in my career, which is exciting because I up until now I've just sort of been doing it on my own. So to have sort of like a consultant, someone that I can go to, like a coach basically, is going to be cool. So as far as like the way I sound, I definitely am like inspired by a lot of singers, songwriters. I love Taylor Swift. Grew up listening to her. There's so many new artists that I'm like blown away by like their honesty and their conversational way of going. I'm trying to think of an example. There's this young lady named Sadie Jean who's her song is called "What Are You Doing Now." It's so like all these young ladies are like making these songs that are just blowing up. And I'm
Right,
really,
right.
and even like Olivia Rodrigo, I think being at the top of that list, she's someone I really like her music. So I'm inspired by the generations that are like just slightly younger than me. I'm like, you guys are amazing. So I kind of am going to have a mixture, I think, of like
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Clarkson to Taylor Swift to like some of the newer poppy sounds. So I'm excited to explore that though.
Amazing. And then of course you're an actress. So
Yes.
what got you into being an actress?
That came very in a weird way, like out of, I don't know, out of nowhere. It felt like all of a sudden I was just almost, it's like felt like something I had to do. Like it was the most genuine way for me to express myself and to connect with myself and with other people, and like learn how to be comfortable with my emotions. So there was a lot of reasons why, but I think I just grew up watching actors, and I didn't allow myself to think that I could actually do what they're doing, but I was obsessed with them. So
Mm-hmm.
older me or anyone else would look at younger me and be like, "Okay, you're into this. Just admit it. Like this is something that you like." But it took me forever to be even willing to admit that I wanted to be, do theater and do stuff like that. So I was a young kid watching like the Disney Channel. Like I love Selena Gomez and um, who else? Like I loved Grey's Anatomy for some weird
Oh,
reason.
I
At
do too.
10 years old, I was like watching with my mom at like 10 years old. So I just always really like. To me, it's like acting is the one of the only ways to be truly connected to in art in general, but especially acting because it's verbal. Like you're literally
Mm-hmm.
saying, you're putting yourself in a role, and you're saying lines. Like it's like the most direct way to communicate with someone. So I found it really fascinating that people were able to access their emotions and portray that in different situations. So that's what eventually drew me to it. But it was a long journey, even up until recently, to be like brave enough in classes to really like show myself and be vulnerable, and doing scene work and stuff. And I've done some short films, and I've started to get a lot of experience. And this past summer I booked some commercials, which has been fun because you can kind of just be yourself in a commercial. It's just a fun way to have a positive experience. So yeah, it's been a long journey, but it's been fun.
That's amazing. And I know you said just it's just commercial, is that correct?
Well, I auditioned for film and television as well, but the most recent things I booked were some commercials back in the summertime, a few months ago. Um, I live in Ohio, so a lot of what we have here is like commercials and regional
Mm-hmm.
stuff. We have a lot of theater, like regional professional theater, which is great as well. So I just try and take advantage of what I have around me, but I also, submit and audition and stuff for LA and New York as well. So I try and
And
say
that's awesome. Ohio is a big commercial state.
yeah, a lot here for that.
And where do you see yourself in 5 years? Maybe moving to Nashville for your music, or maybe going to New York or LA for music and acting, or where do you see yourself?
I definitely would love to move to LA. That's where I want to be in the next like 3 years.
Hmm.
And I'm grateful that I, didn't move sooner because we had the pandemic,
Right.
and it would have been really hard to stay out there. It's so expensive, and it was a scary time back in 2020, and my mental health wasn't the greatest
Hmm.
either. Like, I think we were all kind of going through a lot back then. So I'm glad that I didn't end up trying to go sooner like I had originally wanted. So I would say like in the next 5 years, I would definitely want to be in LA. I do love Nashville and I do love New York, but I love the beach and acting. So that's my main reason. No, I'm just kidding. So acting and singing are both like so big there. It's like if I want to do both, that's the place I feel I would do best in.
Right.
Versus yeah,
I
for the whole
totally
picture. Yeah.
right. I totally understand. I didn't mean to cut you
Yeah.
off. So far, what is your greatest strength as an actress?
My greatest strength. Ooh, that's a good question. I might still be in that mode of like discovering that. I think it's probably like my genuineness. I would think. I don't know. I like to be really like genuine and with people, and but also I feel like I love life and I love connecting with people, and I hope that when I am, auditioning or in classes, that people take that away. Ultimately, I just want to inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was in a class and someone I had to do like this personal monologue. So I had to write about like an event that had happened in my life that affected me in some way, whether it was sad or, happy or whatever. So I wrote about something and I said it, and I had a scene partner, who was like basically I was trying to make eye contact and say this to her. And when I was done, I had gone through all the emotions that I had to say for that monologue, and she said, "You're inspiring." And that was the first time anyone ever told me that. So I'm hopefully my quality that kind of comes through when I'm doing work
Mm-hmm.
is that, that I like make people feel something ultimately.
That's amazing. And um, I know you haven't played any roles, but I'm gonna ask you this. But if you played any role, what role has deeply affected you, even perhaps in a permanent manner?
Oh, well, the roles that I have played have been in short films. A lot of the times I play like the best friend of somebody. There was a short film I did about and a best friend of mine was in an abusive relationship. And I definitely would have, I mean, out of the stuff I've done, that would be, I think, the most important role that I played, just having a supportive friend, like we even just talked about. Um, but if you're asking about like on television and stuff, like stuff that I've seen, oh my goodness. I don't even know where to begin. That's a big question. I would have to like make a notebook of all the shows and go through them one by one. But I don't know. That's a good question. I would have to think about that. But I know when I was younger, my guilty pleasure show is still Pretty Little Liars, which is so funny because it was like a teenage show. But I always loved the role of Spencer, and
That's
she
a
was
good
kind
one.
of, you know who I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah,
And I love Troyan Bellisario. I think she was just so perfect for that character. Like it's every time, even if I go back and watch an episode today, which I still sometimes do, she was just like so great on that show. So I do love that character, but that's the first thing that comes to mind.
I agree. What do you believe is the most challenging aspect of being an actress so far?
The most challenging, outside of how much work it is, I don't think people realize how much of your own work you have to do. You have your own business. It's very challenging, especially in the beginning when you are trying to have like a work life balance. That I'm finding challenging to have a work life balance. And you have to do everything for yourself. You have, for the most part, you should be self-submitting, you should be communicating with your agent and or manager, and you should be in classes, you should be practicing outside of classes. It's a lot. So I would honestly, just for right now, for me, that is like the most challenging thing. But as far as like the craft goes, the
Hmm.
actual craft, it's definitely overcoming your own insecurities for me, because it brings out everything. Everything. And I think music does that too, but I think acting does that in a more like harsh way, because you have to be able to be emotional in front of people, and if there's anything that's holding you back from doing that, that's hard to like overcome that and realize like, why can't I connect with this person, like what is stopping me? So that's been the hardest thing for me, but it's also really rewarding and kind of therapeutic.
That's sure, 100%. Um, Now you're in Ohio,
Mhm.
and have you lived in Ohio all your life?
Yes, I grew up in Youngstown. I still live in Youngstown. I'm not far from Cleveland, but I have traveled, I've been on vacations and stuff, and I've been to New York and I sang in some cabarets in New York. Um, of course, I've seen a lot of Broadway shows in New York while I was there, but doing stuff in New York was really exciting because that was my first time doing anything that wasn't in Ohio. I was with a singing group and we were able to do a cabaret. We sang in the Metropolitan Room and the West End Lounge, which was fun. And then I've been to LA and, I've taken multiple trips there and gotten to know the city. So I've been able to see both. And ultimately, my next place to live will be LA because I just really love it. And I already have so many friends there from classes and online work and stuff.
That's totally true. I totally understand. LA is the place.
Yeah.
Do you have any hidden talents that nobody knows about you yet? And if so, what are they?
A lot of people probably know this. Anyone who knows me knows this, but I was a competitive equestrian my whole life. That was like my first passion was horseback riding. I always loved music and stuff too, but the first thing that I kind of found the talent in that I wanted to pursue was riding horses, and I did that for like 10 or 12 years. So I guess it's kind of like a hidden talent because I mean, if no one, if they don't, like if I walk into like an audition room and I was asked that, that's what I would definitely say. And it's exciting to know that I could still use that skill on a film. Like I used to watch movies. There's this one American Girl doll movie called the Felicity
Hmm.
Felicity movie. It was Shailene Woodley was a youngster back then, but she was in it and she rode horses in it. And I was like, I could do that. Like I could act and ride horses and be like a double, triple threat. So that would be cool to be able to do that. But other than horseback riding and like playing instruments, not really. I am really good with cats. I have three cats, and I feel like I could be a cat whisperer sometimes. And everyone's cat likes me. Ever since I got my cats, I can go in anyone's house and their cat will come up to me. So that's kind
Really?
of cool. Yeah, I don't
And
know. It's really weird.
um, so back to your horseback real quick. Did you do that for competition as well, or just for fun?
Yeah, for competition, I didn't go like nationally. I could have if I decided to focus on that, but I at that point I was going back and forth between do I want to I mean when I was younger I wanted to go to the Olympics. Like I was dead set on doing that for a career. And I had even emailed, her name's Laura Kraut, she's a show jumping Olympic gold medalist, and I was interested in being a working student for her and moving on to her farm, and she was interested. But I decided to start fresh and be an actor and singer. So that was kind of a big risk back then, it felt like, but I kind of knew in my heart that I was meant to be an artist. And horseback riding is sort of like an art because you are working on one with an animal and you're producing an image essentially like over a course of jumps or whatever it is. So, um, sorry, what was your original question? I think I answered it.
You did, no, you did. You answered that question. No, it's
Yes,
okay.
competitive around like local and regional
Right,
stuff.
right. No, it's okay. That's a good. You know, I've seen people ride horses, but
Yeah.
I didn't know you had that as a hidden talent. So thank you for telling me.
Yeah, thanks for asking. I love talking about all of this, especially like horseback riding, because it's still so close to my heart. Like I still can't wait to one day like get back in the saddle and just ride for fun.
That's amazing. And so, question. I know it's acting question, music, but this is
It's
a
okay.
horse question.
It's okay.
How do you get the horse to calm down?
Um, this is why I say it's like an art form because it really has to do with your emotions. If you are nervous, the horse is going to be nervous. It's like they need you to be calm. So if you have like, it depends on the matchup. Like if they were to put like a newer, more nervous rider on a more nervous, newer horse, that's a very bad matchup, because then the energy would just be all over the place. Someone could get seriously hurt. But that's why, they always put beginners on really consistent, good school horses that know that energy, that nervousness is not anything to be concerned about. But for me, I began to get good at riding like off the track race horses for a while. And
Hmm.
I got even like paid at one point to ride them for people who would buy them and didn't know what to do with them. And my trainer trained me on thoroughbreds. So a lot of that would happen, and you just have to just remain calm and ride it out, even if they start to get kind of,
Right.
prancy and they start to get a little nervous. You really just have to stay calm and sit in the saddle. And the deeper that you sit, the more, the sturdier you are, the more that they calm down.
Oh, very
Kind
interesting.
of
I
interesting,
learned
yeah.
something. I learned something.
Yeah.
Because I was just curious. You watch stuff on TV or movies, you
Yeah.
see horse get
I'm the
nervous or
same way with like watching gymnasts. Like now I'm glad that I've tackled horseback riding, but I watch gymnasts and dancers and I'm like, how do you just throw your body back to do a backflip? Like you just trust your body. It's so weird to me and it's amazing. And I wish I could kind of be born again and like be a dancer and be a gymnast because there's no way in this lifetime. But I mean maybe dancing but not like gymnastics. So yeah, I have
right.
the same thoughts about other sports too. I'm like, what and how?
That's true, 100%. Um, so what would you tell someone who wants to get into music, who wants to be a singer, just like you are? What would you advise someone who is younger, who's inspiring to become like you, or who wants to make their own music and go from there?
Um, I would say like what I learned from my own experience was you have to just do it. You can't wait for the right time. You're never going to be at the right place. It's just something that you have to start. Um, and I would say like don't be afraid to just share how you're really feeling. I feel like if I had been a braver, more like not as self-conscious kid, I would have
Hmm.
probably started with my own music a lot sooner. So I would say that as far as the mental part goes, but then also for actually like singing, get into voice lessons and understand that it's going to take a long time. Like it's a skill to be learned. Even if you have natural talent, it's a skill and it takes a long time to get to the point where you're even, good enough to be considered for a label and stuff like that. So it just takes a lot of hard work.
That's true, very 100%. Is that the same as also someone who wants to be an actress or an actor?
Yeah, and acting I feel like is sometimes almost easier, not like all the time, but as far as what to do, acting kind of gives you like a roadmap. You start in acting classes, and from there you get an agent, and from there you start doing auditions. So I like that for acting. I kind of always know what to do, but for music, it's really all you. Like it's all you. You just have to start writing. You have to start putting your stuff on TikTok and on social media and getting people interested. It's so weird how it's like your own business. But for acting, I would say just always start with getting in class. Even people who think that they don't need class, it always will help in some way,
Hmm.
even if it's just improv or something to like get you loosened up. I don't think I'll ever stop taking class. I love being in class. For me, it's like a safe zone, and like my friends are all there, and it's fun. So yeah, I would always say for both, just start training for sure.
That's true, 100%. And by the way, your music is beautiful.
Thanks.
On your Instagram page, you're singing, and it's amazing. So I can tell
Thanks.
you're calm. It's just you singing.
Well, I'm glad it appears that way. Not always feel that way, but thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And it's just, by the way, how was the dinner with your family? I know I was gonna have you on another day, and
Oh, it was good. We all went to my mom's house last night, my parents' house, and put up the Christmas tree and stuff. It's sort of like a tradition because I live on my own, so I still like to go over there and do their tree. So it was kind of like a last minute thing, but it was nice. And whenever I can do something with my family on like a Sunday, I try to do something on like a Sunday because that's typically like a family day. So it was nice. Yeah.
that's true.
We got the tree
You know,
decorated. So
right. But back to what we were saying about music is, I do agree with you. It does. Music helps people with the emotions, and
Mhm.
that's like mental health or whatever we're going through. The music tells the words and
Mhm.
what we want to say, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
unbelievable. Like you listen to some of the music, like Adele and like Taylor Swift, and you listen to all that, and you're like, wow, their music is kind of like what we're going through, right? And it's
Yeah, it
like,
is. It's like a story, and I really like the storytelling kind of artists too. Like Taylor is one that just gets like right down to the nitty gritty of it. Like she does
have you, by
not.
the way, have you listened to Taylor Swift's recent song about depression?
Was that Anti-Hero?
I believe so.
I've listened to a couple of the new ones from her album. I still have to listen to the whole album, but I can't even like comprehend anymore. Like it's so deep, and you really have to like take your time and like understand. So I have to go on a whole like deep dive on this anti. I know what song you're talking about. I did listen to it, and this is the one where she's like, "It's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me."
Yes, yes. So, I listened to that song, by the way, and it's powerful. It
Is it?
really is, and that's, I'm glad she's making a song about depression, about
Mm,
mental health, and it's very important that we're talking about it because
right.
me personally, I'm not sure if you agree, but I believe as us as a society, we're not talking about mental health as much as we should,
Mm,
and we need to talk about mental health because
I agree. Yeah.
that helps us, right? And also, we shouldn't be ashamed to talk about it to our friends and
I
family,
agree.
you
Yeah, I
know.
think it could be sometimes hardest, like even with your family, because I think when you grow up, when you grow up, you're one person, and then when you become an adult, you're another person, and you have stuff that you're kind of going through in your head that you might have experienced or felt a certain way about, and it is important to talk about it to a therapist as well. That's been big for me as well as going to therapy and
Right.
counseling.
And and that's true about the song, about Taylor Swift's song, the one I just mentioned. But
Yeah.
it's powerful, it's amazing, and it talks about depression and all that stuff because
Hmm.
we really don't know what the person's going through, right? And
Right.
but again, it all comes down to us as our friends. Friends need to be there too as well. So it's been,
Yeah.
to, call or text. Personally, I think call is better in my opinion, but, call or, see how they're doing or spend 30 minutes with them having
Yeah.
lunch
Let
or
them know you're
coffee.
thinking of them.
Right. You gotta
Hmm.
let them know, we're thinking about them. It doesn't matter how busy we are in life, you know.
Right.
So very important. Mental health for me is very important for me because I'm a mental health activist, and and the more we talk about it, the more we know people. We tell people that we know, and we're listening, and we understand their pain, and
Right.
that's why, like for you and other people who are making music and singing it as well, is helping people,
Yeah.
because that the words impact people differently. When you listen to the song, you're like, wow, this is me when I'm going through, or wow, this song makes me happy, or we don't know, and that's why that mental health is very important for me, and that's why music, like I said, I'm repeating myself, but music is amazing. It helps people a
It
lot.
is. It's like changed the world. I mean, it's been changing the world, yeah. And I think this generation too is like of all these upcoming artists, they're so in tune with that. And I think we're gonna continue to see an uprise in it like we have been a little bit, but it's I think it's gonna continue a lot.
That's true. Mental health is very important. So,
Hmm.
and Jessica, like I said, I can't wait to see what the journey takes for you.
Thanks.
Um, and of course, as yourself being an actress, so of yourself being a singer, every time I look on your Instagram, it seems like there's a new song coming out.
Yeah,
you know?
I I've been like preparing this next song I wrote. I wrote it out in LA with a group called Lyre. It's Lyre. And I found out about them through some of these upcoming artists that I've heard about, and I've been keeping tabs on them. And I went out to LA last summer, and I was able to do a writing session with them. And we wrote a song. I'm not going to give away the title yet because I'm going to make like a specific post about it. But we wrote a song. Basically, it's about like kind of leaving your hometown and pursuing your dreams, and like kind of how like it can be depressing when you're not where you want to be.
Right.
So that's sort of what the song's about, and it's really good. It's like the girls are so amazing. They helped me. Like they it was like a therapy session. I sat down. They were like, "What's going on in your life?" And I told them, and they made it into a song.
Yeah.
It was the
Well,
coolest thing.
like when I was down with depression, music helps me,
Mm-hmm.
and um, even your music and other people's music I've listened to has helped me, has lifted me up.
Oh,
So,
great. Thank you.
and I can't wait for the new music to come out. I just had to tell you that
Thank you. I
um,
appreciate that.
you're very welcome because, like I said, music does impact people,
Mm-hmm.
and I was waiting. I can't wait. Well, I should say I was waiting. I was waiting, and I'm can't wait for the new music come back, and it's
Yes,
just
thanks.
amazing, amazing. So
Thank
even Amy just said on the and on there,
Aw.
and um, it's music does help, and if you could oh wow, my English collaborate, or if I'm trying to say, if
You
you could
collaborate.
sing with any of the female singers, a male singer, who would it be?
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. That's really, that's a, I don't know. I mean, I would have to say, I mean, I can't pass up Taylor Swift. Like if I were given like a golden ticket in life, that would be it. Like for me, like I mean, I feel like she is just, I can't even imagine like sitting down and writing with her, like how I don't even care if I'm in the song. I just want to be there to see the process. That would be amazing. I mean, just look at like what she produces, what she comes up with. And I think too, sometimes I imagine that these big writing sessions are like done with a bunch of people and it's like a big thing. It's really not. I keep forgetting that she writes half this stuff on her own in her journal, you know? So there
Mm-hmm.
might not really be a whole lot of like people, I guess, to learn from. I think it's just her in a journal, and she goes and shares her ideas with people, and then she
Right.
has some people co-writing, and then it becomes a song. So
And by the way, her
I would die.
yeah, sorry. By the way, her Ticketmaster it's been
I
sold
know.
out.
Isn't that crazy? And that's something I've never even seen that happen in my life. Like that's
It's
wild.
amazing, and I think
Yeah.
part of it as well is, and I could be wrong, but I believe it's because the songs she made, again, about depression, I think that has helped a lot of people it helped a lot of people to come to ease that, again, she made a song about depression, and
Hmm.
I think that has helped a lot of people, and
I'm
I
sure.
believe that's how the ticket got sold out. So,
I'm sure. Yeah.
and like I said, and I know I repeat myself about this, but that's why it's very important to make songs about mental health,
Hmm.
and we as a society is not talking much about it.
Right.
You tell people about your life, about your journey, about your mental health, about all this stuff, right? And some of your friends or close ones, they kind of ignore you or they don't understand what you're going through. But it's all about stop. We
Hmm.
need you to be there for us, right? It's okay
Hmm.
to make a phone call or text us it's better to make a phone call and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Make a phone call, and yes, we can be busy in our life, but it doesn't matter. You can make 30 minutes in our life to
Absolutely. Yeah.
make a phone call and say, "Hey, let's have coffee or dinner or lunch." So,
Absolutely. Hmm.
sorry, I repeat myself
Oh,
because
that's
about
okay. I
I
totally
repeat
understand.
myself about that because I'm a big mental health person. I'm a big fighter for mental health because it's very important to talk about it because we're not talking about it much in society.
Hmm.
And I know you said for sure, you said for yourself, um, that we as very beginning of the show, you said that the song helps with mental health, and and that's very important. And for me, I'm not ashamed to talk about my mental health at
Hmm.
all,
Yeah.
and I know people should not be ashamed to talk about your mental health. We are all here to listen, and we're all here to support each other. So
Yeah, I
thank
agree.
you again. Your music, I know your music's helping a lot of people. You may not be hearing from them from now. You may be hearing from them from 5, 10 years from now. But you will hear from these folks, from fans and loved ones and family, or from distances, to say, "Wow, thank you. Your music has changed me." And I'm pretty sure everybody who sings songs who will get that message, because that's how we put music on our headphones to go to the gym, or while we're walking into the airport, going to terminals, or and that's how music is impacting you. It's like, wow, this is what's happening,
Hmm.
and this is what's going on, and then
Yeah,
people get
absolutely.
happy. So
Yeah, that's actually the first song I wrote was Roses, and it's about exactly that. That's the single that I have out right now is called Roses, and it's about me like overly critiquing myself and being so hard on myself that I never think I'm going to amount to anything, and all of these imposter syndrome things that I have. So I wrote Roses about that. Um, and yeah, it's on all my music platforms if anyone wants to listen to that.
I can't wait. I've listened to it. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm so glad you listened to
That's
it. It means a lot.
amazing. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And like I said, thank you for coming on my show. I can't wait to have you back and talk about more about your music, about your journey, about being an actress. And,
Thanks.
you
Yeah, I'm
know,
excited. I'll definitely keep you updated on everything and you'll see it on my Instagram and stuff. I'm glad that we were able to make it work. I had to take a bit of a break from everything as well for the past like couple months. My sister got married and there was just a lot like going on with stress, and I was happy. I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things now. So I'm glad it worked
well,
out. So
congratulations, your sister got married.
thank you. It was very
Yes.
cool.
And thank you again for coming on. And of course, I want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Eat a
happy
lot of
Thanksgiving.
turkey. Um, Eat a lot of turkey, and try not to eat a lot of turkey and ham,
Right. Put
jokingly.
you right to
But
sleep.
it's crazy. You go in there and you eat, and it's like, whoa, there's a lot of food. And then when you're
I
done, you're like, oh, I'm so stuffed.
I
And then
got
you're
it.
like, and then they say dessert, and you're like, ugh,
And you
I'm still.
have to have it. Like,
I
you
know,
just
it's like,
squeeze it in. Because I used to overeat at Thanksgiving, and honestly, like I feel like my body's really good now at telling me to stop. So I have one plate, and then I have like one or two desserts maybe. So
but I'm trying to say, it's kind
yeah,
of like, whoa, stop,
it's a
but you
lot of
keep
food.
going,
Yeah.
you keep going. It's, and because you
Well,
look at when
I
you
hope
look
you
at
have a
someone
great
else's
Thanksgiving.
plate, pardon me, when you look at someone else's plate, oh, that looks so good.
I know.
Let me go and get it. And you're like eating it, and you're like, then you regret it.
Literally, I know. Yeah, you always want to go for seconds, but yeah, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving as
Yeah,
well.
same with you. And thank you again for coming on my show. And I can't wait to have you back.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Thank you. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.